walking around Savannah looking for a couple of movie filming locations, which is something that I really haven't tried to do since back when I was in Fargo. But I decided to rewatch a movie in which Savannah was kind of the star of the movie. It's called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It was directed by Clint Eastwood, and it was starring John Cusack and Kevin Spacey. I also read the book years ago. It was on the New York Times bestseller list for 216 weeks, and no other book has broken that record. It's about a murder that happened in one of these beautiful old Savannah houses. It's a true story. An antique dealer named Jim Williams shot and killed a young male prostitute that he had a relationship with. The prostitute, Danny Hansford, was said to be a volatile troublemaker, an abusive drunk, and an out-of-control drug addict, and that pushed Jim Williams over the edge. I can't get over these houses. The writer of the book just happened to be here in Savannah working on a magazine article about Jim Williams and his lavish Christmas parties when the whole drama unfolded. So he had a front row seat to the murder investigation and the trial. And he soon discovered that the city of Savannah was chock full of some eccentric and colorful characters. Jim Williams was actually very involved in preserving a lot of Savannah's historical architecture. A lot of these buildings in the city appeared in the movie. And here is the infamous house where the murder occurred. Jim Williams was tried 4 times in 8 years for the murder before he was finally acquitted in 1989. And then just a few months after he was acquitted, he unexpectedly died in this house just a few feet away from where he shot and killed Danny Hansford. There actually were a couple of other strange tragedies that occurred at this house before the shooting. A young boy had climbed up on the roof of the house when it was empty in 1969 and was chasing pigeons up there when he fell off the roof, and he fell on this fence and impaled himself. I believe that part of the fence where he died has been removed. And before that, a man that lived in the house died in a freak accident when he tripped over the banister on the 2nd floor. Oh my God. And that is Jim Williams' sister. So I shut off the camera and I'm walking away to not freak her out. Now it may seem that I invaded her privacy by pointing a camera at this lady's house that she inherited from her late brother, but it is the most photographed house in Savannah. And there were other people next to me with their cameras out. And if you come back to the back of the house, you can go inside. There's a gift shop and pay $12 to tour the house, while Jim Williams' sister is inside in her bathrobe reading the morning paper. But the tour only consists of 4 rooms, and people taking the tour aren't allowed to photograph anything. And they don't get to see the room where the murder took place, and they are not allowed to ask about the murder or even mention the book or movie. or they will be shut down in the most southern genteel way. Please don't ask about that unfortunate incident. And according to Jim Williams' sister, the book and the movie is fiction, and her brother was an angel. Even though the book was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize for nonfiction. So I'm undecided about taking the tour. If they allowed dogs in backpacks, I probably would. So the next filming location isn't far. Savannah's a small city, but my God, it's beautiful. I'm looking for the place where Tom Hanks sat on a bench. Wait a minute, is that who I think it is? Run, Pam, run! I have a question to ask this man. What's Mama always tell you?
Well, Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. You know, Mama was always right. She's a real smart lady.
That's right, this is where Forrest Gump sat with his box of chocolates. Actually, the exact location is a few yards away right here.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
The bench is now in the Savannah History Museum. Well, that was a fun surprise to see Forrest Gump right when I'm looking for the film location. The Spanish moss on these trees is not actually moss. It's a relative of the pineapple. Must be distant relatives. During the Civil War, General Sherman burned the city of Atlanta to the ground. But when he arrived in Savannah, he thought the city was so beautiful that instead of destroying it, he offered it to President Lincoln as a Christmas present. And I think Lincoln must have been very pleased with this gift.